Over this past year, I've been through a wide variety of different experiences. I started my e-commerce business, had some really high highs with it, and also had some really low lows with it. I doubled down on YouTube and creating more and more content. I started a new 9 to 5 job, left the 9 to 5 job to focus completely on business, almost finishing up grad school now. But during this whole time, I've really gotten to understand and value just how powerful controlling our mind is. You see, your mind can either be your greatest asset or the key to your downfall. Also, over this past year, I've gotten to speak to hundreds of people who are interested in starting an e-commerce business, making money online, and eventually being able to leave the job that they dislike so much. What I've come to know or understand from speaking to all of these different people and even reflecting on how I was in the past 3, 4, 5 years ago, what I've come to understand is that most people aren't lacking the skills or lacking the discipline or lacking the effort. Most people are lacking control of their mind. Most people's greatest enemy is actually their mind, which is your most intimate, I would say, body part. Your mind controls all of your thoughts. So the majority of the time, when I speak to people who want to make money online, the greatest barrier that I identify after about 5 to 10 minute conversation is that they simply do not believe in it. They don't actually believe they can make money online. They see it, they see other people living the dream life, traveling, making thousands of dollars a day, tens of thousands, millions of dollars a month, while on an airplane or while being in this country or that country, and they want to have that same life. However, at the end of the day, they don't truly believe that they can do it. They'll put in the work, right? They might work for a week, 2 weeks, but then that belief starts to creep back in that, you know what, maybe this isn't really possible. Maybe I can't really do this. Maybe they have this that I don't have, or that person has this that I don't have. And actually, what really sparked my idea behind this video is I was speaking to my Uber driver from a couple of days ago. He's a very nice guy. I always, whenever I speak to someone, I'm just always telling them, you need to start e-commerce business, you need to do content or anything like that. And in this case, and this was probably like the third, fourth conversation I had this week, and I was telling him, like, yeah, e-commerce is the way to go. You can have your business and make a lot of money online, and it is going to be a lot of hard work. You're going to fail a bunch of times, but at the end it's going to be worth it because you're building something for yourself versus working for someone else. And he started to get really inspired and really excited. He started to, I can feel his energy. I saw this light, this brightness in his eyes. But then after the excitement kind of wore off, after 15, 20 minutes, the doubt started to creep in, right? His mind, the first thing his mind did, it didn't give him all the reasons why he can be successful. It started giving him the reasons why he is not going to be successful. And he started to ask me things like, but do you think at my age I can really do it? He was in his, early 40s, mid 40s. You think with my age I can do it? Do you think I have a lot of responsibilities? Like, I also work this and I do Uber and then I do this other job. Do you think I'll have enough time to do it? I feel like I won't have enough time, or I'm not very social media savvy. I don't think at 40 years old I'm going to be able to understand how social media works to be able to make enough money. And then another doubt, and then another doubt. And it was just endless doubts that in 15 to 20 minutes from having all this excitement, his mind convinced him that he was not good enough. And this is what happens the majority of the time when I do different consultations, is that people allow their mind to convince them that they can't do it. You see, the biggest difference between you and the people living your dream life, the people living the life that you want to live for yourself with money and with freedom and with location freedom and with resources, is that no matter how delusional the idea they had was, they worked after it tirelessly, like a crazy person. And not once did they, and sometimes your mind is gonna try to trick, like, maybe this isn't gonna work, maybe. Right away, when that feeling comes in, you have to beat it down. And after you beat it down for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 12 months, a year, it's slowly gonna start disappearing. You're gonna slowly start believing like you can accomplish anything. No person who went out there setting mediocre goals ever became someone truly worthwhile. We don't think back on the kings and the conquerors that didn't conquer anything, or that didn't grow their dominion more, that didn't grow their empire, or that didn't accumulate wealth for their empire. No, we talk about Alexander, because Alexander at 19, he said he's going to take down the greatest empire in the world. You see, that was delusional for a 19-year-old in Macedonia, which wasn't a very powerful kingdom. I don't want to turn this to a history lesson, but I love looking back at historical figures and seeing how they were able to control their mind, because the same way they were able to do that, you can do it to have success in e-commerce, to have success with an online business. So Alexander, at the age of 19, he was tired of being a client state, Macedon being a client state to the Persian Empire, which at the time was the greatest empire in the world. At the time, I think the emperor, the king of Persia, was Darius III. Now Darius, his empire, his dominion went from Eastern Europe, Western Asia, all the way into parts of Europe, parts of the Middle East. They also had Egypt. And Alexander, with a very small army that wasn't nearly as huge as the Persian army, it wasn't nearly as formidable. And at only 19 years old, he sat there and he convinced himself repeatedly that he can take it down, that he can take down an empire that had lasted for hundreds, if not a couple hundred years up until that point in time. An empire that had conquered much of the known world, that had millions of people living under its domain. And guess what? He relentlessly went after Darius. He made it his life goal. He was either going to accomplish this or die in the pursuit of this. And there's this one particular instance in the life of Alex. I really turned this into a history lesson, but there's this one particular happening or event that happened in Alexander's life that I always think about, because I look at it, I'm like, these people that went on to accomplish great things were literally their mind was a fortress. It was incredibly formidable. Alexander wanted to be the one to capture Darius, right? And when he heard that some of Darius's governors kind of betrayed him and sort of kidnapped him, pretty much locked him away, in one night, he rode 18 hours. He didn't sleep. Obviously, it was through the day and through a bit of the night that he rode for 18 hours on his horse to catch up to Darius on a horse. Imagine that. Imagine that, through the Western Asian, the mountains and the steppe and that kind of weather there, and the lack of food and the lack of drink. This man did not care. At this point, he's probably in his early 20s. He rode on horseback through day and night to go and capture the man that he made his life goal to take him down, to kill that man, to end basically the Persian Empire. And eventually he didn't get there exactly on time, to where Darius was already almost dying, but he kind of just watched him die in his arms. And I imagine the belief or the feeling he must have had at that point in time, that he just took down the greatest empire the world had ever seen up until that point. And the Persian Empire eventually never recovered from that, and kind of went on to crumble after that, because of a 19-year-old who had a formidable mind, who would rest at no points until he was able to accomplish his goal. You need to have that kind of mentality with your e-commerce business, because trust me, what you're trying to do, make money online, your e-commerce business, is not nearly as difficult as taking down the greatest empire the world had ever seen in that point in time. The most powerful empire with a small army, or at least in the beginning. Then Alexander went on to conquer the Egyptian lands, and he went on to conquer, parts of the Middle East, and he went on to pretty much reach the heart of Persia and take it down. So if he was able to do that, and obviously we're not all gonna have that strong of a mind, but why are you gonna sit there and convince yourself, let your mind convince you that you can't make $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a month? There is nothing that you should let your mind convince you that you cannot do. And I wasn't always this way, 3-4 years ago. If you would tell me, I would tell you, man, I don't know. It's like the people that make money online probably scam, and they probably sell courses to make 10K, and there's actually no way to make 10K with econ. Just convince myself a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of excuses. But now I've been able to almost hack my mind. Right? And if you tell me, hey, but you can't do this, but you can't, I'll tell you, give me 2 years, I can do anything. If you tell me, hey, I bet you can't fly, I'll figure out in 2 years how to make a machine that'll allow me to fly. I'll tell you, if I put in the work for it, I definitely think I can. And that's where, if you set delusional goals, crazy goals, but you match them with your work ethic, you can literally do anything. Because Alexander didn't sit there on his throne when he became king after the death of his father and say, well, from my throne right here, I'm going to be able to take down the Persians and kind of conquer their empire. If he did say that, and he didn't ride those 18 hours in one night, or put himself, and he would actually fight in the battles. He would get off his horse and actually fight. You see, the Persian kings wouldn't actually get into the action. They would be in their chariot surrounded by their bodyguards, and they kind of just watch the fight. But he literally fought. Like, he could have so easily died. Someone could have just stabbed him and kind of ended everything there. But he was so determined for his dream that he was not going to allow that to happen. You need to think that way. Like, there is nothing that there's no excuse I'm going to make. Things are going to get bad. They're going to get rough. Your business might have a very, very low point, right? You see, not every single month is going to be insane for you. You're not going to make 30K a month every 40, 50, 100K every single month. There's going to be slow points. What happens in those slow points is you work even harder. You put in the work every single day. You make it this kind of obsession almost, where if it means, you know, you have to work your 9 to 5 and have your business, wake up at 5 a.m. Wake up at 5 a.m., work on it before you go to the job. You come back from the job, you work on it again. At the job, you know, you sneak away a little bit, you get some work done on your business until eventually you're able to quit. That's what I did. When I started my business, I was waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, doing a little work, going to the office. I would try to do all my work and like as fast as possible, then just go and work on my business. Because guess what? This company does not give a fuck about me. No company out there really truly cares about you. You're all just a little cog in the machine. Until you're able to conquer your mind, you can conquer the world. If you conquer your mind, you can truly conquer the world, and you can conquer anything. And if you couple that with the hard work, I mean, you're going to achieve amazing results. No one, like I said, no one that set mediocre goals ever achieved anything phenomenal. Everyone who set mediocre goals ended up being very mediocre. I remember a couple of years ago, I had a mentor and he asked me, what is kind of your moonshot goal? And I said the most mediocre thing ever. I said, I just want to make 10K a month. Like, oh, making $10,000 would totally change my life. And I'm like, now when I look back and I'm like, what, 10K? That was your moonshot goal? I mean, that's pretty mediocre, to be honest. You can set, and obviously when you first start out, you're not gonna say I'm gonna make $100,000 in the next 2 months. Like, that's unrealistic, right? That doesn't make much sense, because even if you put in all the work, it's, you know, the odds of that happening aren't very real. But you can go and set a very high goal from your first month. Or you know what you can do to kind of give your mind the proof that you can do this. This is what I love doing, is I'd say, this is my kind of agenda for the month. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I promised myself. I'm going to make I'm gonna make a YouTube video every 2 days. I'm going to post 3 TikToks on my personal page. I'm gonna post 3 on the business account to grow my TikTok shop. I'm going to improve my e-commerce store by doing this exact thing. Like, I'm going to invest more into my email SMS marketing. I'm gonna send out these kind of emails, this kind of SMS every so and so days. I'm going to but I'm going to get this many affiliates after this point in time because of my content. I would set these goals, that things that were under my control, that when I wake up, I look at my agenda and I say, I promise this to myself to be able to reach my goal. Let's say you are just starting out right now. You can say, in the next month, I'll make my first $2,000 online. And you say, okay, you work backwards from that. The goal is $2,000. What can I do to hit that $2,000? All right, I'm very busy. I have a 9 to 5. I might have a kid or something like that. All right, so what I'm going to do, what I'm going to promise myself, is I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. Check. 2K. Okay, what do I need now? Am I going to do TikTok shop? Am I just going to do Shopify? Am I going to do Etsy? Let's say you say you're just going to do Etsy. I'm going to list up 3 new products a day every single day without fail, and I am not going to give up. You do that every single day. Then you say, well, I want to expand a little bit. Let me promote my products on TikTok. Okay, I'm gonna make this many TikToks a day every single day without fail. And you do that every day. For the first month, you're gonna hit the 2,000. The next month, you double that, you say 4,000. Now you increase the work that you're gonna put in. Now I'm going to do 4 TikToks a day. I'm gonna list up this many products, and you keep going, so on and so forth. And you keep doubling and increasing your goals. And you're gonna get to a point where it's like, now the goal is to make 100K. It's gonna be very, very difficult, and you might not hit it. So then this is where the mental fortitude comes in. All right, I didn't hit it this month. I'm going to work harder next month. I'm going to wake up an extra 10 minutes earlier, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to review my content. I'm going to improve it in this way, and improve my store in this way, and expand my knowledge in this way, and I'm going to hit it. And if you don't hit it again, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to stop until I hit that goal. That needs to be your mindset. No excuses, nothing. You need to figure it out. Because I could have made a ton of excuses for myself. When I graduated college, I was $30,000 in student debt. I could have sat there and said, I have a lot of student debt. I should just try to get as many promotions in my job to pay it off, and not start a business because it's kind of risky and it's also scary. And what if I don't have success in the business? No, I said, fuck all that. I'm going to start an online business. I am going to wake up at 5 if I have to. I'm going to work on my business before I go to work, after I come to work. I'm going to set up my schedule to be able to do my graduate school work at this time so that I can also work on the business. Boom, 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 everything. After a year, I was able to leave the 9 to 5. Now I can solely focus on my business. Now if my business is going through a slow point, I'm going to work even harder because I have these bigger goals that I need to go out there and get. So the moral of this video is, you need to conquer your mind. You need to have a fight with your mind, a constant battle. It's a constant battle that is never going to end, because nowadays everyone loves making excuses, everyone. And whenever I look at people, I always feel like they have so much potential in them, but potential does not matter. You see, these people might have great business ideas, or they might have achieved something in the past. Now, like, well, I have a lot of potential, but there's this, and then there's this excuse, and then no, that doesn't matter. You have potential. You need to go out there and execute. You need to execute. I met another guy at the gym who was doing amazing calisthenics workouts, and when I asked him, like, what do you want to do with this? Oh, I'm like working right now on getting my personal trainer license, and then when I get that, I'm gonna start creating content. Why not create content now? I don't know. It's fear. It's fear, which is causing you to delay. Your mind is not strong enough. You have amazing skills. You have an amazing talent. Go out there and showcase it to the world. The first video is not going to go viral. Video number 10 might not go viral. 20, 30, 40, but 50 is probably going to go viral. With every single day of work that you put in, with every single day that you fulfill the promise you made to yourself, gets you one step closer to accomplishing and achieving your end goal. And you need to believe in your mind that this work is going to get me to that end goal, and it will happen. It will. Not maybe, God willing, it will happen. I'm going to be able to do it. So that's the moral of the story of this video, especially if you're younger, you're watching this, you're 60. I know a lot of my audience is actually a lot older, but it doesn't matter, right? I've noticed the young and the old and the in-between, and everything has a bunch of limiting beliefs. Do not control their mind, and allow their mind to convince them that they cannot do things, which is the most ridiculous thing that you can think of. Like, I'm not done yet. Let's think, before I end this video, let's think about this logically. What good does it do for you to sit there, and I'll use an exam example. You have an exam coming up. It's going to be a difficult exam. What good does it do for you, or does it change the end result if you sit there and you say, this exam is going to be too difficult, I'm going to fail. This exam is going to be too difficult, I'm going to fail. This exam is going to be too difficult, I'm going to fail. What good does that do? That makes no sense. You're giving yourself a reason to fail, which is probably going to kind of seep into you saying, you know, it's not even worth really studying for, because I'm going to fail anyway, versus switching up your mindset. This exam is going to be really, really difficult. I'm going to work backwards. My goal is to get a 99 on this, a 98, let's say. Okay, let's work back. What do I got to do to get a 98? I have to study this material, this material, this material. Let's break it down by day. And every single day, I'm going to fulfill this portion of the material that I said I was going to study, and I am going to get an amazing grade on this exam. I'm going to get that 98. You do that every single day. Maybe you don't get the 98, but I bet you're going to get a much higher grade, maybe a 92, a 93, than if you sat there and told yourself you were going to fail, and made yourself believe you are going to fail, and therefore made the excuses to not study every single day. There you have it. I know this is not going to be easy for you to do, especially if you have a weaker mind, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's very much worth it, and it's going to allow you to achieve amazing things. And I feel like everyone can achieve amazing things. I feel like everyone can go out there and live the life that they want to live. So thank you for watching this video. If you are interested in starting TikTok Shop, which is the business that I have, I made a full free course down below. It'll be the top link in the comments or in the description. I suggest you go watch it. It's 3.5 hours long, and gives you everything you need to start TikTok Shop. So if that was an excuse you were making, I don't have enough information, I don't know where to find it, and blah, 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 go watch that and go start. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. I'm out.